Hello, Aquarius. Welcome back to MonAndU. All right, guys, I have been MIA for a hot minute. I am undergoing a lot of different changes, and some of those changes are very visible. Some of them are not, namely getting my lips pierced or my lip pierced. Um, I'm in the process of getting new tattoos. There will be a matching one on the other hand. Getting my eyebrow pierced. But I'm also in the process of changing a lot of my personal perspectives, not just about myself, but about the world as a whole, about the different things that this world presents to us for engagement and what we choose to engage in and what we choose not to engage in. Now, okay, this is interesting. I'm just kind of sinking back into the energy, and if you guys can see, Jay just came over. Sinking back into the energy. So I am filming this on the 11th, 4/11, and I had originally sat down and started channeling messages for you in the beginning of April, April 1st. And I got some repeating numbers for you first. I got 535, 555, 777. And then I was drawn to the numerology of the actual date itself for April 1st of 2025. That was a three number. It was 50, 14, and 5. So with numerology and you're doing date numerology, the way that I do it is I take the month, the date, and then I break the year down into two double-digit numbers, add that all together to get a total number, and then I will add each individual digit and then reduce down to a single digit. This energy, a 14 and a 5, Sagittarius, Taurus, and the Temperance card and the Hierophant card. These cards over here are the overall energy for not Sagittarius. Sorry, guys. Some of you guys may have Sagittarius really strong in your chart. You may want to watch a Sagittarius energy reading. Off the top of my head, I am fairly certain that I have not yet been drawn to filming for Sagittarius. That is coming up in the next couple of readings, but that may be something that if you feel called to, if it resonates, your guides are actually encouraging you to do so. These cards are your overall energy. It's an overall Aquarian energy that the guides, the cosmos, spirit, the universe want to bring to light, bring to focus. And then I have 3 separate piles here. These are set for Aquarius Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you have those specific placements in your chart, this will help give you a more intensified, specific way in which this energy is playing out. You don't have to have those placements if you feel drawn to one of the piles to listen, or to all of the piles. I have noticed that they tend to be a kind of storyline. They tend to really flow together, though I have seen there can be some differences, particularly with the rising energy tends to be a bit off the beaten path, which as an Aquarius, you guys, that's a common energy for you guys. I don't want to say you guys are used to it, because I do have a daughter who is an Aquarius rising, and I do know she struggles at times with her own individuality, her own uniqueness, with owning that and really allowing that to be okay, especially considering we live in a very conservative state. We live in a very religious-based community, and we kind of operate our lives in a different way. So there is that tension there. And we can find that out in the world. Again, this comes back to that original message of what we choose to engage with. despite what is presented to us. So we can choose to engage with what's presented to us, or we can choose not to. It's kind of like TikTok or YouTube Shorts, where you can choose to watch it or you can swipe. Spirit's kind of saying right now, there are things in your life that you are choosing to engage with where you genuinely have the option, you have the ability and the power to choose something different, to essentially swipe and move beyond it. It just depends on what you feel you're ready for, but also what do you feel you have gained from the engagement. So I'm going to go into your channeled messages and then we'll talk about the cards and then kind of go into the separate piles. And I will timestamp these in the description box for you guys, for anybody who wants to just kind of skip to their part. All right. So Aquarius, when I sat down to channel your messages, to let this energy kind of come in and let the messages kind of flow, the very first thing I got was FAFO. And that is fuck around and find out. But it wasn't about the nature of the FAFO. It was about you and your role in FAFO. And what I was getting is you are the bringer of what is found out. So a lot of people are out there doing a lot of crap, but you're the one that comes forward and says, hey guys, all right, I'm a humanitarian. I am a philanthropist. I am this, I am that. I love people. I like whatever it is that you use to connect. And then you say, here's the deal. And you just bring it. You bring forth what it is that they're really messing around with. And this can go in a multitude of ways. I was on Pinterest earlier and I am seeing a pin in my head that I just kind of glanced at, and it had to do with spiritual bypassing versus authentic spiritual life. And it was about the wholeness versus this kind of unilateral ascension mindset. And I'm not saying that ascension is a negative thing, not at all. But something that I've noticed in my life is ascension and enlightenment. As much as I can be like, all of the great teachers talk about, before enlightenment, chop wood, after enlightenment, chop wood. And that's very true. When you are really stuck in your head, when you are really in that mental sphere, in that air energy that's so natural to you, sometimes it can be a challenge to dive into the experience of your emotions. You, as a cupbearer, tend to pour things out for others. You pour out your emotions. But the key here is in the experience of that. And that is that wholeness. When we focus on, I need to elevate and ascend and become enlightened, and I have to do this and do that. Oftentimes, what I've found is we end up ignoring our emotions, repressing our emotions, and when I say we, please understand that I am absolutely right there with you, because I have gone through this and have really been working on navigating through life in a different way. But I used to over intellectualize emotions, as in, okay, this is what the definition of this specific emotion is, and this is what people express this emotion as being. So where am I experiencing that in my own life? And in that way, I'm actually subjugating myself to other people's ideations. I'm subjugating myself to a doctrine of belief based off of someone's, definition, rather than letting myself feel things and identify emotions for myself, for how I feel them, how they move through my body, how they move through my heart, how they work through me and my life. And this is that the bringer of what is found out. When you are moving in that energy of, I'm going to move in wholeness, so I'm going to accept all of my emotions, good, bad, ugly. I'm going to really dive into them and expand through these emotions. That's true enlightenment. That's true ascension. And that's what I'm picking up in your energy. And then I heard time waits for nobody. And it was very specific. It wasn't nobody, because there is that saying that like time waits for nobody, but it's not about that. It's time waits for nobody. So it's the physicality of it. It flows with the soul. So time is, we can relegate our body, our physicality to time, to the construct of time. But when we move energetically through our life, when we stop going, okay, the calendar says this, the clock says this, and this is what this system says, and this system says, and this system says about what time it is, and all of these things. When we stop relegating ourselves to that construct, we actually tap deeper into our ancient roots, deeper into our ancestral inheritance, deeper into the actual core foundation of what our world was built upon when humanity came into being. When humanity evolved into what we are now, we kept seeking structure. We needed order. We needed these constructs to help us feel as though we had some semblance of order in a very chaotic existence. And chaos then gained a very negative connotation. But chaos is the nature of the soul. It's the nature of creativity. And it is a true nature of Aquarian energy, especially with your astrological ruler being Uranus. And without going too deep into Uranus, because I was meditating before I came to sit down and film this today. And I was meditating on Uranus itself and the Fool energy, because the Fool card represents Uranus energy. I was thinking about the fact that we all think about Uranus as being like the wackadoodle. I don't know why I said that. I don't think I've ever said wackadoodle, but it just played through my head. But it's like the wackadoodle out in the cosmos. But they think of it as like the father of Saturn. And Saturn is the father of the Olympians. But in reality, Uranus is an anglicized, I believe is the way you would say it. It's basically a British version or an English version of Uranus, who is the god of the sky. But because there is no actual correlative god of Uranus, there is that kind of like, let's fuck around and find out to it, because it's becoming something completely new, but we think it has this construct, this structure, and yet it doesn't. There's power in words. There's power in naming something. That's why in the Roman Catholic faith and the Christian faith, and I want to say the Carolinian Catholic, and there is this belief that when there is a possession occurring, if you can say the name of the demon possessing whoever it is, it gives you power over that energy. There is power in a name. The name is the way that we find our kind of hierarchy in how that energy impacts us. But I'm somebody that dives deeply into things. And when I looked into Uranus, there is no actual mythological archetype that technically carries that name. Not the way that Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Pluto, Neptune, not the way that those are. Uranus stands separate, unique, individual. Uranus stands just as Aquarius does, the bringer of what is found out, the pourer out of the waters of life, of the emotions, of the understanding, the one that needs no body, no physicality, no form in this world to say, this is how you have to flow with life. This is how your life has to go. So Aquarius, after I got that message, I heard Aquarius, what you've been doing, planting, exploring behind the scenes. And this was so specific. I literally saw like curtains closed behind the scenes is 1, life changing, 2, it's world altering, and 3, it is reality shattering. No illusions hold up to the truth. And then I got in huge letters that you are the truth bringer. Okay. There's a lot here to unpack. So I want to go into the energy of your collective. So we start off with the 6 of Cups. And as you can see here, there are spiders and bugs and leaves and wow, feathers, flowers, spider webs, butterflies. And usually the 6 of Cups is like memories from the past and you know, things coming back from your childhood, gifts and offerings from that time frame. What I'm getting from this is there is this interconnectivity that you can choose to see and choose to engage with and choose to advance and develop yourself through. And it's based off of different points of your past, different points of your spiritual journey that you may not have realized are actually interwoven because they seem like separate entities. They seem like separate pieces. And then we got the secret garden. And I want to say this is child's pose. It says planting new seeds, hidden dreams, and nourishment. Now, normally hidden dreams would say to me, these are dreams that are hidden within your psyche that you're meant to unlock. But this is more like you have a dream that you have been hiding from the world. You've been nurturing and cultivating this internal secret garden that is very unique to you. And in doing that, you're actually the weaver of all of these different spiritual awakenings, enlightenments, and ascensions, and all the moments where you fall and you falter and you get back up. And then we had this Sagittarius energy and the explorer. The explorer. So Sagittarius is Sagittarius is very much like Jupiter energy. It's very much like, let's go do this shit, you know? And at times, that's exactly what I can feel in your energy, Aquarius. Is this like, let's go get this shit done? But at other times, it's less about going out and doing and more about recognizing what you've already been doing. You are the truth bringer. You are the bringer of what is found out. You're the one that recognizes and sees all of the intricacies that really tie things together. And that can either break you or it can build you. It can be something that you use in a negative, dark way, or it can be something that you use in a positive, light way. And only you know the manifestation of that. It's not about what the outside world is going to define it as and label it as. It's about what it is for you and your soul's journey. Wow, that's bold. Oh my gosh. Okay. Me personally, when I say stuff like that, I feel like, oh my gosh, like there are so many ways that people could use this. Like ways that people can use this to justify different behaviors. I am never condoning something that hurts you or other people. It's almost like you need to give yourself a ticket to freedom because you're holding yourself to ideals and standards that aren't necessarily meant for you. what you're exploring. And I do see it's like there's two parties. There's like some people that are really like out exploring things in the world, like genuinely, like I'm seeing people foraging kind of energy. And it's very metaphorical in this foraging energy. It's like you're just experiencing different aspects of the world and different aspects of life. And I see that group, that's an externalized group. And then there's this internalized group where it's like you are parting the curtain of the veil within yourself, piecing together different things that at one point you didn't realize were connected. And now it's coming more and more to light that all of these things are interwoven and that you're the one that has been weaving them together without even realizing that you're the linchpin. And I don't get the sense that one group is more advanced than the other, nor that any singular person at this reading would identify with just one group. Like you may identify with both of them. This may be something that you're like, oh my gosh, I do that. Oh my gosh, I do that. Remember, your overall energy is taking these disparate pieces and putting them together, bringing them together and realizing that you're the one that's transforming them into a wholeness. And it's through choices that you're making in life, decisions that you are making. Okay, so that is the collective Aquarius energy. Sorry for the random pause. I had a text message. I needed to double check that. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on in my life right now. Nothing bad. Everything is really great. It's just, well, you know what? I'll tell you guys because I already mentioned my daughter, who's the Aquarius. She actually made it into state speech. So I'm just making arrangements to make sure that somebody can be here tomorrow to watch my dogs while I go and watch her at her state speech meet. I'm super excited if you can't tell. Proud mama moment. All right. So we are going to go ahead and go into the individual ones. So now we are going to go to first Aquarius Sun. So Aquarius Sun, hi guys. Wow. Okay. We're actually starting this out pretty strong because I looked over at my clock and I saw 22:33 and it is 4:22 p.m. on 4/11. So there's a lot of repeating numbers here. 11, 22, 33. And then there's separate fours. Interesting. These things are repeating. And when we bring them together, again, we're going back to this. When we bring them together, we have that next progressive step, but we can't see the progressive step until we bring them together because this four and this four have been separated. And if you bring them back together, then it makes sense. Then it becomes clear. Wow. Okay. Aquarius Sun, you guys are really tapped into that overall Aquarius energy. So let's see. I love when this happens. Literally, you are tapped the F in to the Aquarius energy. You have your own energy, the visionary. That is what you are. The seven. Oh, this is a beautiful Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is traditionally a card of deception, deceit, lies. But this card is like all of the swords are inside the moon. And I love this so much. I'm going to get into that, but I want to get this last one. Yes. Pyramid, amplification, harmonic resonance, cosmic union. Okay. I love that it literally, if we go like this, it's pointing directly to the Seven of Swords moon. Okay. Aquarius, the visionary. We're talking about bringing all these pieces together here. So we're going to go a little bit differently for the Seven of Swords. So if you are not new to tarot, you know that the Seven of Swords is one of those oh shit cards. It's like, somebody's lying, somebody's cheating, somebody's deceiving me, somebody has stolen from me, whatever. Or it's that card of like, there is there is deception afoot, and I have to take what I need and get away quietly and quickly. Okay, this is not that energy. So I want to tell you guys a brief story about astrology. Astronomy. Let me be more specific. Astronomy. Okay, there is a theory based off of scientific principles and tests and everything that they've done, that the Earth used to be much bigger in size, and that there was another planet that was knocked off of an orbital path and hurtled into Earth. And when this planet hit Earth, both planets kind of broke, and the Earth ended up absorbing much of that secondary planet into the core of itself. But the pieces that had broken off of both of them floated around in space, caught in the gravitational pull until over billions of years, it formed the moon. So the planet, the theoretical planet, is named Thea or Thea. I don't know what the proper pronunciation is, and I apologize if I'm butchering it. But she was a goddess of the light. She was Rhea's daughter, and she was married to the god of astronomy and the stars. And she birthed dawn and dusk and the moon and the sun. And so she is contained within the womb of her mother, essentially. If we look at the archetypal figures within the earth as Rhea, and the core, because Thea was the goddess of the golden light, essentially. And that would be the molten core of the earth. But both pieces, or both forms coming together, lost pieces of themselves in the process. And those pieces formed the moon. And so forever there is this luminary in the sky that changes its face and its phases, and it goes through that maiden and mother and crone energy, and it teaches about progress and process and cycles and changes and nature and flow, and how things ebb and flow, and the tides that come in and out, and all of these things based off of this moon. And we seek it when it's missing in the sky, and we fear it when something blocks it, and we yearn for it and aim for it and gaze at it and wonder at it, because it's this piece that is so mysterious. We see one face, but we don't see the other. Does it have another? There is this illusion of separation in that story. This illusion of separation that in order to come to the fullness of that cycle, we have to lose bits and pieces of ourselves. But you're in this energy of a cosmic union of all three being one. So the way that this is coming off for my Aquarius suns is that the emotionality, the feelings and the flow, that it changes. It just does. All of us have a moon in our chart. Doesn't matter if it's in a water sign, earth sign, air sign, fire sign. It doesn't matter. When it is in the chart, like it is for all of us, it impacts each and every one of us. It does it in its own unique way. That is part of why you're here to be a visionary, because you can see things that are different. You can see how there's this grand deception that this beautiful luminary in the sky is something to fear or something missing, that our emotions are not important for this experience of life. As you move further on this path, as you bring forth these truths, whether you're bringing them out into the world or you're bringing them forth from yourself, all the bits and pieces that you have felt were missing, particularly internally or through your life, are being revealed to you to always have been in existence, being brought together, woven together with love, with harmony, with beauty, through your choices, through your heart. The deceptions and perceptions that don't fit don't have to remain, because you have the vision to amplify a new way. That is incredible. All right, Aquarius Sun, go do it. Just go do it. That's my personal bit of advice. Go do it, whatever it is. So let's move on to Aquarius Moons. All right, Aquarius Moon. Hello, my loves. You guys have like a super fun energy. You guys have like a fire energy going on right now. I'm like picking up like this let's party kind of energy. I'd almost say you got some Leo in there, almost stereotypical Leo. So let's take a look at how this kind of weaving together and bringing forth of the truth is coming forth for you. So we have, oh my God, lunar eclipse and sovereignty. Wow. Okay. We are not holding anything back. That is the card 15, which reduces down to a 6. And then we have the 3 of Wands. I love this. I love this card. Beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. Oh, we are working with your third eye. Holy crap. There's something strong here. And then I have Enchanted Forest, nervous system support, deep breath, and grounding. I get it now. Okay. Wow. Okay. Aquarius Sun. This just came in like wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. You need the inspiration. No, wait. Okay. I just heard needed. And the ED, like the past tense of it, showed up in my third eye like really strong, like flashing in neon lights. You needed inspiration from somewhere. We just had a total lunar eclipse, and it was a total lunar eclipse, I believe, in Virgo, if I'm not much mistaken, during Pisces season. Yes, full moon in Virgo. And it was a blood moon. And I sat underneath that moon. I sat underneath it during the maximum elongation, like the peak of its coverage, and stared in awe as it just, this redness just kind of very ethereally flowed around it. And I stood outside, and I live in North Dakota. It's freezing here during March, April-ish. It's been really warm today, but it's traditionally pretty cold. It was about 30, 40 degrees that night. It was very cold, very windy, but I still stood there as the time moved to that full eclipse point. And I had my feet on the ground, and I felt the world change. I felt my world change. I felt this energy in my own way. This third eye awakening, illuminating, coming to life energy. This orbs of light and revelations and realizations coming into such a physical form. And this is where you're at right now. You're at this point where you have really stepped out of whatever else may or may not have been negatively engaging you, or you have been engaging in and perceiving negatively. you've really moved into this ownership energy. We use the word sovereignty a lot, but this is an ownership, an accountability, a transparency energy. You're literally just standing so strongly in your third eye energy, and it isn't imbalanced. It's grounded, it's anchored down into your soul star chakra, and it is illuminated and amplified. Now, like, wow, this is the time that your body is rebuilding something. When I see nervous system support, I feel this calm energy of like, oh, peace exists within, never without. And we don't realize it until we realize it. We can hear it a million times in a million different ways, but until we're in it, we won't know it. And you know it now. You feel it now. You are it now. And this is just literally like the most beautifully succinct message. Short, sweet, and to the point, Aquarius. Your guides are saying, you did it. You found out. You brought this truth to yourself. You brought it internally and you are exuding it externally. Guys, I have not felt so calm, so energized, so it's like all the things at once. But no, it doesn't feel wrong. It doesn't feel off. It doesn't feel imbalanced. It feels like coming home to oneself. That's what your energy is right now. A homecoming to the self. And your guides just want you to know you did that. You wove it all together. You created it. You explored. You learned. You grew. You amplified. You became. You became whole. Wow. Okay. We are going to move on because I just heard done. So, all right. Aquarius Rising. All right. Aquarius Rising. Whew, I had to pause and step away for a minute just so I could answer some messages on my phone. First of all, are you guys doing some sort of energetic cleansing? That was an energy I felt really strongly. I'm also getting 4s and 1s for you guys really strongly as well. Ooh. Sitting back down in your energy, and this has been happening with more of the rising signs. Your energy is on another energetic level. Like my crown chakra feels so, wow, very amplified right now. Oh, wow. Oof. I almost feel Piscean energy in this. All right, let's see here. We have the waxing gibbous moon with movement. See, that's why I got this cleansing energy. It's like moving energy, getting it flowing, getting it moving, getting it going. I don't know, like almost like you're juggling certain things in order to move your energy out. But I don't get this juggling in the like negative connotative sense of like, oh, I'm juggling so many things all at once. No, it's literally like, it's almost like something that you do to pass the time, like, fidget spinners or something. I never really got into those, but oh my God. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Look at this card. That is literally the image I was getting. I want it to, there we go. Yeah, it's like you're juggling energy. You're just juggling energy right now. And then we have the Mystic Key, patterns in the subtle realms, time keys, singularities. Butterflies, flowers, hands. Are some of you guys Reiki masters? Have you been feeling tingling in your hands? Or have you felt like a pressure in your crown chakra and tingling in your hands? That is coming through. Some of you may want to look into Reiki. More than anything here, Aquarius risings. Often the Ace of Pentacles is seen as like a new beginning in the financial world or a new beginning in the physical world. And it can be. I I definitely am getting this cleansing energy. And I do mean cleansing. I mean like a juice cleanse energy, like clean your whole digestive tract out, reboot yourself, like mind, body, soul, whole thing. But more than that, it's like you're taking very subtle pieces of your energy and shifting them around. I'm like seeing them shift. It's like you're pulling on them just little bits. And it's not quite like threads because they're just like tiny little pieces of energy. And you're forming them into something new, something that will get your life moving in a new direction, moving towards a different style, a different level, a different layer of abundance. Abundance is just a plentiful energy. Not, I don't want to say excess because that can, again, have negative meaning and connotations to it. This is more like I have all that I need. I need all that I have. I'm in this beautiful, abundant energy. And I never really stop to worry. I just keep shifting the pieces here and there. And in doing that, you bring this very unique view, this unique perspective, this unique style to your movements in life. Metaphorically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, movement in so many different ways. There is this brand new moment in your life that's coming in as it builds. It builds and it pulls you into this. Let's go, let's do this, let's build. And in order to do that, as I sat down right away, I felt that crown pressure. I felt very ungrounded. But as soon as I touched these cards, then it was like, oh, here I am. Okay. So it's like you're taking bits and pieces of a bigger puzzle from the ethereal realms, from the spiritual realms, the higher and the lower, and you're bringing them up and you're creating something new with them. And as you create this, it builds and builds and builds and builds and builds until it blossoms. Wow. Okay. I can see it all, but that's the best way that I can describe it. And so your guides really are just here to tell you it may feel like nothing is happening. It may feel like too many things are happening. It may feel like nothing and too many all at once, but it's you harmonizing and equalizing and centralizing the abundance pattern very few can see, very few experience, but they know in some way that it's there. They know it's there, but they don't know how. And you find those tiny little uniqueness pieces and you put them together. And it's like you create time. You make time. I'm seeing a clock being made, but the numbers aren't the number. It doesn't have 1 through 12. They're symbols. And then they change to the numbers. And then they change to different things. And it's like they're always ever changing. But you're still creating it. And there's no set way it's going to go. because you are the key maker. Now I'm seeing the twisting and the ticking. Well, Aquarius Risings. I don't know what this was. I've done this with Aquarian energy before. I really have. I'm always in awe. Wow. What are you guys building? If you don't want to tell, don't. But please keep doing it. The world needs more of you. So, Aquarius, this is what I have for you. Man, I hope it resonates with someone because, oof, I was definitely in another realm during that. I want to say thank you guys so much. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here and joining me on this channel. Thank you just for your existence. Thank you for your existence. Aquarius, I love you. I love your guides. I love your energy. I love your flow. Keep doing you. Bye, my loves.